Hello, welcome back to Snugglewood, young Dreamlynx. My name is Arin. Snuggle down into your coziest quilt and let tonight's calming tale and soothing sounds relieve you of any worries and guide you towards a deep, restful night's sleep under these beautiful stars above. And so our story begins in a place called Dolphin Bay and the sleepy giant tale of Dolphin Diveulups. You follow the narrow trail carved by countless quiet footsteps through low-growing seagrasses that brush against your ankles with a tender familiarity, their blades carrying the clean scent of salt and sun-warmed earth. The path opens suddenly onto the broad sweep of Dolphin Bay, where the shoreline curves like a protective arm around waters so clear they mirror the sky above in unbroken tranquility. Golden sands stretch out before you, fine and yielding beneath your bare feet, each grain still holding the day's accumulated warmth that rises now in soft currents to meet the cooler evening air. Farther along the curve, scattered clusters of smooth boulders rise from the tide line, their surfaces etched with faint patterns left by the long-ago touch of the mythical giant who watches over these lands from some unseen vantage among the distant hills. You pause there, letting the scene settle around you like a well-worn cloak. The rhythmic wash of small waves against the shore, creating a steady pulse that matches the slow rise and fall of your own breath. The bay itself lies sheltered between rolling headlands, covered in thickets of salt-tolerant shrubs whose leaves turn silver in the late night. And beyond them, the open sea waits with patient invitation. You walk onward, the sand shifting in quiet response to each step, carrying you closer to the water's edge, where the protected waters of Dolphin Diveulups begin. Here the shallows extend outward in a wide, shallow shelf, before dropping into deeper channels. And already you notice the first signs of life moving beneath the surface. Schools of small tide weavers darting in coordinated ribbons, their bodies flashing with subtle hues of blue and green as they weave through strands of underwater grasses. The air tastes of salt and distant rain, and a light breeze moves across the bay without haste, stirring the surface into delicate patterns that catch the fading daylight in quiet reflections. As you wade into the shallows, the water rises cool and welcoming around your calves, then your knees, its clarity allowing you to see every pebble and shell resting on the sandy bottom. The Diveulups appear first as distant shapes, sleek and powerful forms, gliding just beyond the breaking waves. Their presence announced by a series of soft, melodic clicks that travel through the water and rise to your ears like a private conversation, meant for only those who have come in peace. These beings, the Dolphin Diveulups, move with a fluid confidence born of perfect belonging to this place. Their bodies longer than any ordinary sea creature, marked along their flanks with pale, swirling lines that seem to tell stories of ancient voyages and calm returns. One separates from the group and approaches you slowly, its dark eye meeting yours with unmistakable curiosity and kindness. You feel no alarm, only a deepening sense of safety as it circles once, then nudges your outstretched hand with a smooth snout, the contact cool and reassuring against your palm. You continue forward until the water reaches your waist, and the Diveulup stays close, matching your pace with effortless grace. Other members of the pod join now, their numbers growing to perhaps a dozen, each one distinct in the subtle variations of their markings, yet united in the calm purpose that defines the protected waters of Dolphin Bay. The mythical giant's influence lingers here too, visible in the way the currents remain steady and untroubled, as though an unseen hand has shaped the bay's contours over centuries to create this sanctuary. Legends whispered among the folk of Snugglewood speak of the giant pausing here once in its eternal watch, leaving behind a blessing that allows the Diveulups to swim without fear and to share their company freely with those who seek the bay's quiet gifts. You sense that blessing now in the way the water supports your body, buoying you upward with natural ease as you venture a little deeper. The Diveulups guide you onward with soft vocalizations, a series of rising and falling whistles that seem to encourage your own movements. You let your arms float at your sides with steady strokes that carry you alongside them into the heart of the protected area. Here the seabed drops away into a series of wide, sandy channels, bordered by living gardens of coral quiet formations. Their rounded shapes covered in soft polyps that sway in the current without urgency. Schools of lumen fins weave among the coral quiet, their tiny bodies creating shifting veils of silver that part and reform around you as you pass. One Diveulup dives beneath you, then surfaces on your other side, inviting you to follow its path. You take a breath and submerge, eyes open in the crystalline water, and the world transforms into a realm of filtered light and slow motion. The clicks of the Diveulups now surround you in a three-dimensional chorus that soothes every layer of awareness, their rhythms aligning with the beat of your heart until the two seem to share a single pace. You glide forward, the water streaming past your skin in continuous calming flows that ease the shoulders, the neck, the small muscles along the spine. The Diveulups form a loose circle around you, their bodies creating a living corridor that leads toward a hidden lagoon tucked behind a natural breakwater of tumbled rocks. Sunlight filters down in broad gold shafts, illuminating patches of seafloor where tiny shell songers rest, their spiraled homes producing low, resonant tones whenever a current brushes against them. Tones that blend with the Diveulups' calls to form a natural harmony designed for the deepest kind of rest. You surface in the lagoon, the water here warmer and stiller, held in place by the surrounding formations. A floating mat of woven seagrasses drifts nearby, clearly placed by caring hands for visitors, and you pull yourself onto it with easy effort. The Diveulups gather close, some resting their heads on the edge of the mat, while others circle slowly in the surrounding water. From this vantage you can see the full sweep of Dolphin Bay once more. The golden shore now bathed in the soft rose of approaching evening. The headlands standing proud, and far in the distance, a single massive silhouette against the sky. The outline of the sleepy giant seated upon a distant ridge, its form blurred by haze, yet unmistakably present, watching with the patient care that has safeguarded this place through every season. The sight brings a profound steadiness, a reminder that all is held and all is well. Lying back on the mat, you let your gaze travel across the water's surface, where small ripples spread outward from the Diveulups' movements, each one catching the light in ways that soothe rather than distract. Nostalgic memories surface. Childhood days spent beside other shores. The simple joy of salt on the lips, and the endless conversation between sea and sky. But here those memories arrive softened, stripped of any longing, transformed instead into a warm acceptance of the present moment. One of the Diveulups emits a long, descending whistle that seems to echo inside your chest, loosening whatever small tensions might remain. Your limbs grow heavier in the most pleasant way, sinking into the mat's supportive weave, while the water below rocks you with the same steady rhythm that has lulled countless dreamers before you. The tour continues in this unhurried manner as the pod leads you from the lagoon back toward the main channels, showing you the underwater arches formed by ancient coral quiet growths, where schools of tide weavers create living curtains that part as you approach. You swim through one such arch, the water caressing your skin in continuous waves of comfort, and emerge into a wider basin where the seabed is dotted with smooth stones, arranged in patterns that echo the giant's ancient footsteps. Here, the Diveulups demonstrate their playful side, leaping clear of the water in graceful arcs, before re-entering with barely a splash. Each leap accompanied by a burst of clicks that sound like shared laughter. You find yourself smiling, the expression rising naturally as the scene unfolds around you. Every element conspiring to affirm that you belong exactly where you are. Time loses its ordinary shape in Dolphin Bay. You drift alongside the Diveulups as they show you the areas nearby, never disturbing the balance of the protected waters. The lumen fins follow in their wake, cleaning stray fragments and adding their own soft presence to the living tapestry. The air above has taken on the deeper blues of twilight, and stars begin to appear one by one, their reflections dancing on the bay's surface like scattered lanterns. You float on your back now, arms spread wide, the water cradling you with perfect support, while the Diveulups maintain their protective circle. Their clicks and whistles continue in a melodic undertone, each note designed by nature herself to ease the mind in wider, more spacious awareness. A light wind moves across the bay from the open sea, carrying the clean scent of distant kelp beds and the faint mineral trace of the headlands. It brushes across your face and hair without hurry, and you breathe it in deeply, feeling how the inhalation fills your lungs completely before the exhalation carries away the last traces of any day's concerns. The sleepy giant silhouette has merged now with the darkening hills, yet its watchful presence remains in the absolute peace of the water, in the way no sudden current disturbs the bay, in the harmonious interactions unfolding all around you. You understand without words that this sanctuary exists for moments precisely like this, one where body and surroundings align in total accord, where every sense receives only what nourishes and restores. The Diveulups guide you back toward the shallows, with patient nudges and encouraging calls, their bodies moving against yours in ways that convey companionship and safety. As the water grows shallower once more, you stand upright, the sand firm beneath your feet again, and turn to watch the pod retreat a short distance before they pause, still visible, still offering their silent invitation to return whenever the heart desires. The shore welcomes you back with the same yielding warmth, the golden grains now cool and smooth underfoot. You walk slowly along the water's edge, leaving a trail of footprints that the next tide will smooth away, each step reinforcing the deep calm that has settled into every part of you. Night has fully claimed Dolphin Bay by the time you reach the trail's beginning once more. The stars overhead form a vast canopy, mirrored in the still waters, and the Diveulups' calls continue to drift across the surface. Softer now, blending with the rhythmic waves into a lullaby meant for all who listen. You pause at the edge of the grasses, turning one last time to take in the entire scene. The bay, the creatures, the distant guardian presence, and feel a quiet certainty rise within. Here, in this protected corner of Snugglewood, every element works together to remind you that rest is natural, that peace is always available, that the world holds you with the same care the giant extends to its lands. The path rises gently beneath your steps as you begin the return. Yet the memory of the water lingers in your muscles, in your breath, in the steady rhythm of your heart. Behind you, the Dolphin Diveulups continue their serene patrol of the protected area, their forms occasionally breaking the surface in soft leaps that send quiet rings across the bay. The tide weavers and lumen fins settle into their nightly patterns among the coral quiet gardens, and the shell songers add their low, resonant tones to the growing chorus of night sounds. Everything moves in perfect coordination, a living affirmation that balance exists and can be felt simply by being present. You carry the bay with you now, the feel of the water's supportive embrace, the sound of the Diveulups' melodic language, the sight of the giant's distant watchfulness. Each recollection deepens the calm, layering it like soft blankets until your entire being feels held and cherished. The trail winds upward through the sea grasses, and the air grows sweeter with the scent of night-blooming flowers hidden among the shrubs. Stars twinkle overhead in their slow, eternal dance, and the bay below reflects them in perfect symmetry, creating a world where sky and sea meet in endless harmony. In this way, the tour of Dolphin Bay concludes, yet it never truly ends. The protected waters remain open to you, in memory and in dream. The Diveulups ever ready to welcome with their calming calls. The sleepy giant forever keeping its peaceful vigil. You walk onward, knowing that wherever sleep takes you next, a part of you remains floating in those clear channels, surrounded by sleek forms and soft sounds, held in the cradle of Snugglewood's most tranquil sanctuary. The night deepens comfortably around the trail, and the stars above seem to draw closer. Their light, a promise of the profound rest that awaits. The path levels out at last, leading you toward the familiar comforts that lie beyond the headlands. but the essence of Dolphin Bay travels with you, woven into your steps, your breath, your very sense of self. The Diveulups' whistles echo faintly in recollection, blending with the night's own quiet music. And you feel how every part of the experience has prepared the way for complete surrender to sleep. The golden sands, the crystal waters, the living circle of the pod, the giants unseen with constant care. All of it converges into a single, sustaining truth. You are safe. You are whole and deep. Restorative rest is already unfolding within you. You reach the crest of the final rise and pause, looking back one more time. Dolphin Bay lies below, like a living jewel, its surface now a mirror of the star-filled sky. The Diveulups moving in slow, graceful patterns that leave trails of soft disturbance on the water. The protected area glows with its own inner peace, a place where giants and sea beings have found common ground without asking. The scene imprints itself upon your mind in rich, lasting detail. The curve of the shoreline, the clarity of the shadows, the harmonious sounds that rise and fall, like a heartbeat shared across species. And so the tale of the Dolphin Diveulups settles into its proper place. A story not of grand events, but of the profound ordinary magic that lives in quiet connection. The bay continues its eternal rhythm. The creatures their serene dance, and the mythical giant its timeless watch. You turn toward home with a heart made lighter, limbs made ready, and a mind already drifting toward the welcome arms of sleep. The stars overhead wink in quiet approval, and the night air wraps around you like the softest of embraces, carrying you forward into the rest you so richly deserve from Dreamlynx.